Hi, this video is about prompting and getting the best out of GenAI. You will find out how to write effective prompts, so stay tuned for some examples. Before we get started, it is important to remember that you can only use GenAI tools for your assessment if permitted to do so. Check your assessment brief thoroughly to avoid breaching academic integrity. Now let's get started with some prompting. What you type in matters more than you think. What is prompt engineering? They are the questions you ask and the language you use to communicate with GenAI tools in order to have it produce the best or most appropriate output for your learning task. Your success in using GenAI tools like Copilot will depend on the clarity of your prompts and your questions. Getting a handle on prompt engineering can also reduce the time required to get the information you're looking for in the format that you need it in. The benefits of prompt engineering are improved accuracy and more relevant outputs from your GenAI tool. You can also train the GenAI to respond as you prefer, as long as you tell it what you want and how you want it, and this will improve the overall user experience. So let's have a look at vague prompting versus specific prompting. I've prepared two prompts on the screen next to each other, side by side. On the left-hand side, you can see a very basic prompt, just asking for a blog post about healthy eating. On the right-hand side, I have given the tool, Copilot in this case, very clear instructions about what I want included in the blog post, how long it should be, what it should focus on, and I even gave it a target audience. So now let's have a look what happens if we click go for these prompts. So you probably would have guessed the outcome. The more vague basic prompt just creates more generic information output. It is useful information, but it mightn't be very useful for my specific purpose, for my blog post. Whereas on the right-hand side, with the additional information, this is very useful for me, and with a bit of editing, I can create exactly the blog post I want to create, targeted at exactly the audience I wanted with the focus topics as well. So much more efficient and useful for me. To help you structure an effective prompt, you could think of three main areas: context, task, and output. For context, you could ask yourself, who are you? What is the context of your learning task? Try to be as specific as possible. For example, which discipline are you studying and what level? Then for task, think about what do you want the GenAI tool to do. Again, be as specific as possible about the question you are asking and what you want the model to do. And then for output, think about how you would like the information to be displayed. Copilot can turn your query into a table, a bullet point list, an image, and many other formats. Here is an example of a prompt structured into these three areas: context, task, output. The context given is you are a first-year nursing student at university. The task we're giving the tool is, please explain Foucault's concept of disciplinary power. And for the output, we're specifying that we don't want any more than 5 dot points. Now let's have a look at how this prompt goes in Copilot. So very pleasingly, Copilot provides us with an explanation of disciplinary powered and tailored for a first-year nursing student, as we asked for in the prompt, and also the output is structured into 5 dot points, just as we asked it to do. You could then ask follow-on questions if you want additional information or dive deeper into one of the dot points. And here are some additional tips for creating good prompts. A basic prompt gives the AI a general idea, but often results in vague or generic responses. A great prompt, on the other hand, is clear, specific, and tailored to the user's needs, leading to much more useful and relevant output. Great prompts often include you giving the GenAI a persona or a defined role. It includes clear and specific instructions about what you're looking for. Provide details to eliminate ambiguity, and tell it what tone you would like, the length of the output, the format, and what audience the output is targeted for. You can use conversations to come to better outputs, so keep having conversations with the model until you get the output you're looking for. And remember that a clear goal will help the GenAI tool to work towards the output you're seeking. Here are some additional tips for creating a good prompt. It can help to give the AI tool a persona, to give it a defined role. It's useful to be very clear and specific, as we saw in our test prompts. Tell it exactly what you're looking for. So give it concrete details to eliminate ambiguity. Tell it about specific guidelines, for example, how long you want the output to be, what kind of tone, maybe target it to your audience, and this will guide the model's response. You can have a conversation with the GenAI tool, so if the output is not quite what you're looking for, you can use complete sentences, keep the conversation going until you have an output that suits your request or what you're looking for. And additionally, it's useful to give the GenAI tool a prompt with a clear and achievable goal so it can work towards it.